There is an elderly Zen master who used to say something that baffled all his students. Most people go through their entire lives with their hands closed, and then wonder why they never receive anything. Today I want to tell you something that probably no one has ever told you before. The greatest act of wisdom is not giving. It is knowing how to receive. And no, I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm talking about something much deeper, something that can completely transform your life. So let me ask you something. How many times have you rejected a compliment? How many times has someone wanted to help you and you said, "No, don't worry, I can handle it myself"? How many times have you felt that you don't deserve the good things happening to you? If any of these questions resonated with you, this message is for you. We live in a culture that has taught us that giving is noble, that being generous is virtuous, that helping others is the path to personal fulfillment. And all of that is true. But we've forgotten to teach the other half of the equation. Because you see, in the universe there is a fundamental principle. Everything that flows must flow in two directions. Think about your breathing for a moment. You inhale, you exhale. If you only exhaled, you would die within minutes. If you only inhaled without releasing the air, you would also die. Life itself depends on this balance. And yet, when it comes to giving and receiving, many of us have become people who only exhale, who only give, who only sacrifice. And then we wonder why we feel empty, exhausted, resentful. Today, we're going to change that. Let me tell you an ancient story that perfectly illustrates this principle. Once upon a time, there was a young monk named Kenji who lived in a monastery in the mountains of Japan. Kenji was known for his extreme generosity. He gave everything he had. His food, his time, his energy. He helped anyone who needed it, never asked for anything in return, and took pride in his ability to sacrifice. One day, the master of the monastery gave him a beautiful ceramic bowl, handmade by a famous artisan. It was a unique piece, decorated with cherry blossoms and golden birds. The next day, a traveler arrived at the monastery. When the traveler saw the bowl, his eyes lit up. "What a beautiful bowl," he said. And without hesitating for a second, Kenji gave it to him. The master observed everything in silence. A week later, the master called Kenji into his room. "My son," he said, "you must leave the monastery for 1 year. Travel through the villages, but with one condition. You are not allowed to give anything to anyone. You may only receive." Kenji was terrified. "Master, that goes against everything I've been taught. How am I supposed to ask others for help? Isn't that selfish?" The master smiled. "Go and discover it for yourself." And so began the most difficult journey of Kenji's life. More difficult than any meditation, more difficult than any fast. Because receiving, he discovered, was infinitely harder than giving. During his first days of travel, Kenji went hungry. When someone offered him food, a voice inside him said, "I shouldn't accept this. This person probably needs it more than I do. I'm a monk. I should be able to endure." But he remembered his master's words. And when he finally accepted a bowl of rice from an elderly woman, something extraordinary happened. The woman smiled with a joy Kenji had never seen before. Her eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, young monk," she said. "For 3 days I've been asking Buddha to give me the opportunity to perform an act of kindness. My children grew up and left. My husband died. Sometimes I feel like I no longer have a purpose. But today, by feeding you, you've given me one." In that moment, Kenji understood something that would change his life forever. By refusing to receive, he had been denying others the joy of giving. Think about that for a moment. Every time you reject help, every time you say, "Don't worry, I can handle it myself," every time you downplay a compliment or refuse a gift, you're not just denying yourself something. You're taking away the other person's opportunity to experience the joy of generosity, the satisfaction of being useful, the pleasure of making someone smile. Receiving with grace is an act of generosity. This is one of the most beautiful Zen paradoxes. By learning to receive, you become a better giver, because you understand the entire cycle. But wait, because this is where the story becomes truly interesting. After 6 months of traveling, Kenji arrived at a village where he met a wealthy man who offered to host him in his home for a week. The house was luxurious, the food abundant, the comforts incredible. And for the first time in his life, Kenji felt completely uncomfortable receiving. Because he discovered something most people never dare to admit. He was afraid to receive. And when the master later asked him why, his answer revealed the deepest truth about human nature, and why we struggle so much with receiving. But before I reveal that answer, let me ask you something. Are you enjoying this journey of Zen wisdom? If this story is resonating with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Every week we share stories and teachings that can transform your perspective on life. We are a community of wisdom seekers, and I would love for you to be part of it. Also, leave me a comment and tell me, do you find it difficult to receive help from others? I'd love to hear about your experience. Now, let's return to Kenji's revelation. When Kenji returned to the monastery, the master asked him the crucial question. Why was it so difficult for you to receive from the wealthy man? And Kenji's answer was this. Because when I receive, I feel vulnerable. I feel like I owe something to the other person. I feel like I no longer have control. And worst of all, I feel like maybe I don't deserve what I'm receiving. The master nodded slowly. Now you understand, he said. The true obstacle to receiving is never outside of you. It is inside. And he was right. Let me share with you the 4 main reasons why receiving is so difficult for us. First reason, fear of emotional debt. Many of us grew up with the idea that if someone gives you something, you automatically owe them something in return. And that makes us feel trapped, obligated, without freedom. So we prefer not to receive anything, so we won't owe anything. But true generosity expects nothing in return. And when someone gives you something with a pure heart, the only thing you owe is to receive it with gratitude. Second reason, loss of control. When you give, you are in control. You decide what you give when you give it and to whom. But when you receive, you have to surrender. You have to trust. You have to open your hands and allow someone else to take care of you. And for many people, especially those who have experienced trauma or disappointment, letting go of control is terrifying. Third reason, a sense of unworthiness. This is perhaps the most painful one. Deep down, many of us do not believe we deserve good things. We don't feel worthy of love, help, beauty, or abundance. So when something good comes into our lives, we reject it or sabotage it, because it doesn't fit the image we have of ourselves. And the fourth reason, fear of intimacy. Because yes, receiving is an act of deep intimacy. When you allow someone to give you something, you are allowing them to see your needs, your vulnerabilities, your humanity. And that is frightening. Now, after understanding why receiving is so difficult, the question becomes, how do we learn to do it? Kenji's master taught him 5 practices that I want to share with you today. These are not abstract theories. They are practical tools you can begin using right now. Practice number 1. Learn to say thank you without justification. The next time someone gives you a compliment, don't say, "Oh no, it was nothing," or "anyone could have done that." Simply say, "Thank you." 2 seconds of silence while you genuinely receive those words. Then you can smile. That simple act of receiving a compliment without deflecting it is the first step toward opening your capacity to receive. Practice number 2. Ask for help at least once a week. I know it sounds simple, but for many people it's revolutionary. I'm not talking about inventing problems. I'm talking about recognizing when you genuinely need help and asking for it. Can you help me with this? I don't understand this. Could you explain it to me? Could you stay with me for a moment? Every time you ask for help, you are training your receiving muscle. And at the same time, you are giving someone else the opportunity to feel useful and valuable. Practice number 3. The empty bowl meditation. This is an ancient Zen practice. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and visualize your hands forming a bowl. Now imagine that bowl is completely empty. Don't try to fill it. Simply observe the quality of emptiness. Feel how this emptiness is not a lack, but a space of infinite possibility. An empty bowl can receive water, rice, flowers, light. A full bowl cannot receive anything else. This meditation teaches you that emptiness is not your enemy. It is your gateway to abundance. Practice number 4. The Receiving Journal. Each night before going to sleep, write down 3 things you received that day. Not just material things. Maybe you received a smile, a kind word, a moment of peace, sunlight on your face, a song that moved your soul. By doing this, you train your mind to notice everything you are already receiving constantly. And what you notice expands. Practice number 5. Learn to receive without immediate reciprocity. This is the advanced level. When someone gives you something, resist the urge to give something back immediately. Simply receive. Give thanks. And let the energy flow. Trust that the universe is cyclical. You will give when it is time to give. But don't turn every act of receiving into an instant business transaction. Life is not a commercial exchange. It is a flowing river. Let me tell you how Kenji's story ended. After his year of travel, he returned to the monastery completely transformed. He was no longer the proud monk who only knew how to give in order to feel superior. He had become a whole human being, one who understood the sacred flow of life. One day, years later, a new student asked him, "Master Kenji, which is more important, giving or receiving?" And Kenji answered something beautiful. That is the wrong question. Giving and receiving are not 2 separate things. They are the same movement. Like the waves of the ocean, the wave that reaches the shore and the wave that returns to the sea are the same water, the same movement. Then he added something I want you to engrave in your heart. When you learn to receive with grace, you become a sacred vessel for the blessings of the universe. And those blessings do not stagnate within you. They flow through you to others. Think about it. A river with no source dries up. A river with no outlet becomes stagnant. But a river that flows in both directions. That river is alive, healthy, and nourishes everything around it. You are that river. And for far too long, you've been trying to be a river that only gives, only gives, only gives, until it runs dry. It's time to open yourself to receive. So let me ask you again, how many times today did you reject something good? Maybe it was a compliment you brushed aside. Maybe it was help you refused. Maybe it was a moment of rest you felt you didn't deserve. Maybe it was love you were afraid to accept. Starting today, I want you to do something different. I want you to extend your hands, open them, and say, even if only in silence, I am ready to receive. You don't have to know exactly what you will receive. You don't have to feel completely deserving yet. You only have to be willing to open yourself. Because the universe is constantly trying to give you beautiful things. But if your hands are closed, if your heart is armored, if your mind is convinced that you don't deserve them, those blessings simply pass you by. Zen wisdom teaches us that enlightenment is not about reaching something new. It is about removing the obstacles that prevent you from receiving what is already here. And the greatest obstacle is yourself, your fear, your pride, your false belief that total independence is a virtue. So today I give you permission to be human, to need, to receive, to depend on others, to be vulnerable. Because true strength is not found in needing no one. True strength lies in being brave enough to open yourself and receive when something good arrives in your life. If this story touched something within you, I invite you to subscribe to Zen Stories and Tales. Every week, we share ancient wisdom that can illuminate your path. We are already a family of thousands of people seeking to live with greater awareness, greater peace, and greater fulfillment. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and leave me a comment telling me, which of the 5 practices are you going to start applying today? And remember, life is generous, but only with those who are willing to receive. Open your hands, open your heart, and allow the abundance of the universe to flow toward you. See you in the next video. May peace and wisdom light your path. Namaste.